And we're live. A gal's in the building. Make sure you're following his YouTube channel. It's in the title. Happy Saturday, folks. We saying the gal, man. You good?
I'm chilling, bro. Just kicking it, relaxing. I've been listening to audio podcasts lately. Just trying to get away from football, you know?
What podcast? I always like to see, because this is how you get to know people away from obviously football. What sort of audios are you into?
Honestly, I was first listening to some like historical stuff. Now I'm just listening to some random like story of a kid growing up, going to a boarding school, tough life.
Fuck it up.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting.
No, you're right, man. Because I've been getting into audio books as well, man. Because suddenly, if you just where you're going about your day, if you just listen to it, before you know it, you've learned something in an hour you didn't know before, man.
Bro, crazy stuff, man. People go through crazy stuff, so it's like it's interesting to sit in like the shoes of somebody else for a couple of days.
It makes you more grateful more than anything, man. Big up on the house as well, man.
Nah, thanks, man. Really do appreciate it.
Yeah, man. That's what you should be smiling.
I gotta count my blessings. Some people tell me don't share that stuff. Like my wife got mad. She's like, "Why are you sharing that?"
I can't lie. I'm like that. I'm like how your wife is. I'm like that because many people be happy and clean-hearted, but you never know who's watching and hating. And I genuinely think evil eye is a real thing. I'm like that generally, so I can sympathize with your wife with that one.
Yeah, we gotta just pray. Hopefully that stays away from us.
Exactly. Big up the chat again. Follow a gal's YouTube channel. Any questions, talking points, disagreements of opinions, let us know, people. Okay, let's get into this because I'm like you in the sense of I try not to. I don't know what the football club's doing, but I try not to panic and do all this. Why are we not signing? Look what's going on. Rah rah rah. I try not to do all of that stuff, and I don't think I do. But I can't lie. You can't not get jealous about what all the other clubs are doing, bro. I see all your tweets. You know, you're well versed on all the other stuff. Like, should we start panicking? Remember deadline day last year or how last summer panned out, man?
Bro,
getting nervous.
Last summer, the window started June 14th. This summer, it's June 14th and people are mad because we haven't signed 3-4 players. In my eyes, 2 players already signed. You might not be happy with Kepa, but in my eyes, he's pretty much
You
done.
predicted that, the Kepa thing, man.
Yeah, I did.
I saw your tweet about Kepa, and then suddenly Ornstein's talking. This guy knows stuff we don't, people, man.
Hey, I'm telling you, it's such an Arsenal signing. You already know before it happens. But yeah, I'm not claiming to be into no. And then the next thing is Zubimendi's done. We know about that. Everyone's panicking. So. Everyone's panicking for no reason. And then the final piece of the puzzle is the striker. It's literally. We're just deciding which deal is cheaper for us, which deal is better for us. I don't think it's about which player is better anymore. I just think it's which deal is better for the club. Because depending on which deal we take is going to depend on what's left over. And I wouldn't be surprised, DG, that if we go out of this window with 6 players.
I think we need 6. I wouldn't even say that's mad. I think I would argue the squad in terms of this year, next year needs more. I think if you're serious, you need anything from 3 to 6. Heavy on the 6. And ironically, you're from Toronto, so 6 is special, isn't it? Yeah. But I think you need 6. What do you think we need? Because surely you could tell me I was right. You tried to tell me we don't need a defender. Surely in these 6, I hear you say a defender, bro.
All right, bro. Cheap defender.
That's cool. Defender, yeah.
Cheap defender, cheap goalkeeper. 25 million gets us both of those easy, or 20 million gets us both of them sorted, right? That's 20 million right there. Zubimendi and the goalkeeper, or Zubimendi, the goalkeeper, and the defender. That's 3 signings. The striker, that's the 4th signing. A winger, that's the 5th signing. The 6th signing is where I'm confused. Is it going to be somebody who backs up Saka for squad depth, or is it going to be somebody who can play in the 10/winger position? Because that's what I want. Like I've been saying it for the longest. I want a Xavi Simons. I want an Eze type in the team. But you know what people keep telling me? Well, Arteta loves Odegaard. He's not gonna buy somebody of quality to play in his position.
But can you sympathize with that though? Because he is the captain, he is the poster boy, kind of. I do think all of the roles in Arsenal's team are complicated. But when you look at what, I know people don't hear it, but when you look at what Odegaard has to do off the ball, he clearly loves Odegaard. Because I think that's the one reason beyond everything, Ranieri's not playing. Like, if we was under Wenger where the football climate was different and it wasn't all system based, I think Ranieri would have come in for Odegaard. I think he's lacking in the technical thing. But like, Do you really agree with that, though? Surely you can sympathize, though, with that comment.
Listen, there's something that's a foreign term to our club, bro. It's called squad depth. Squad depth
Yep.
is a foreign term to our club. And it just, at some point, we have to look over at Manchester City and say to ourselves, they have 8 wingers. You can't play all 8. You're not going to develop all 8. You're not going to have, what's his name, Oscar Bob getting 20 games where he's playing 90 minutes.
Forgot about him.
You have Arsenal fans crying that Ethan is not starting more games when he played 32 games as an 18-year-old. It's like, I really do think we pick and choose our battles, and we need to just look at it and say what's best for the team. If it's getting Morgan, a Morgan Rogers or Eze or a Xavi Simons type player to benefit the team, go do it. It doesn't matter that Odegaard's the captain. Look at it this way: we've had greater captains who've been rotated.
Yeah, we have. Arteta was, well, I wouldn't say he was a great captain, but he was part of that thing of you're the captain, but you're not really playing on a consistent basis. I hear it. It depends though.
On the pitch, we don't necessarily need one man to be the guy, and I'm not even going to be surprised if Declan Rice is more of a captain going forward, or we see him holding the armband very soon, because we know Odegaard is the actual captain, but the real captains on the pitch are the people who are the most vocal. And I don't think he's the most vocal person. He's more of a person who leads the press and leads by example slightly, rather than going out there yelling and screaming and telling you guys, this is what we're going to say. The motivator. I don't view him as a traditional British type captain, because let's be honest, the traditional captain that people look at is nothing to do with your footballing ability, more to do with your personal your personal skills and your social skills.
He did look like a captain for Holland. I'm not Holland, sorry, Norway recently.
Yeah, fair play, but at the same time,
but you're right.
Let's be 100% honest. Odegaard is not the most vocal person from looking at.
He's just a good guy. I'm not even being disrespectful to him. He's just a good guy.
Yeah, when I go to the games, I see him telling people what to do and being an extra coach on the pitch. But what's the difference between that and what Jorginho was doing?
Yeah, no. Odegaard's just a good guy. Like, you can see, like, if we're speaking honestly, you can see why he's the captain. To be fair to Arteta, I wouldn't have had Odegaard as my captain, but fair enough. You're the manager. You're seeing the isms and schisms. For all I know, Odegaard, I can't imagine it. But being devil's advocate, he could be the most vocal person in the change rooms.
We need to win a game. It's 20 minutes left. We need to win a game.
Yeah, he's not the one. Just let Odegaard be himself and let the others do what they're doing. I think if everybody just leads how they need to lead and everyone does their business on the pitch, I don't really think people care. But I don't know, man.
I think Havertz finishes more games next season if they're close than Odegaard does.
That's a good topic, yeah. That's actually a good topic. But I wanna ask you about Kai Havertz and the whole striker dynamic in a second. But I feel like we're skipping too fast and we're zooming over stuff. No, it's not your bad. It's me. Like, I need to just kind of pattern it. I was gonna ask. Huh?
You just came back from the gym.
No, I'm going gym after this, bro. I'm going. What are you saying? The games. It's calm. I do gym every now and again. I'm not even a gymmer like that, man. Don't gas me. Don't gas me.
I'm just trying to gas you.
I'm gonna now. You're inflating the ego now. I'm gonna talk to everyone like they're a twat from this day for the next hour, man. But no, I was gonna ask you, because you made a comment. You was like, like basically you said we're talking with Gyokeres, we're talking with Sesko, whatever strikers. We're seeing which deal's cheaper. I just wanted to ask that, if that is the case, why do you think that is? Because I'm not saying Gyokeres is or isn't the player or Sesko the same, but I just feel the club, if it makes sense, they're going to lean towards Sesko and not necessarily Gyokeres. So, like, if that's the case, why are we still doing chattings? Man said I got a bro run. Well, go ahead, go, man.
This is how Andre Berta does business. Am I wrong? This is how he does business. This is the way we're going to do business in the future. We've always said Arsenal need a backup. Arsenal need a backup plan. Where's the plan B? At least we got one now. At least we got one. We got somebody who's looking to get a target, a B target, and even a C target sorted out in the case that things go wrong, so we can pivot. And at worst case scenario, we end up with Ollie Watkins. Best case scenario, we end up with one of Gyokeres and Sesko. And if one doesn't do well, the other one's there for the taking. I just seen a report earlier today talking from Portugal saying Man United got told.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that.
I was like, okay, I got gas.
There's been bare things in the last 24 hours ago, man. You know, the agents come out. Gyokeres has done the Instagram thing. You just mentioned it there. Things are getting
See my
rejected.
tweet that
Bids
I
are being
posted
placed.
of what Christian said on Dan's channel.
I did see that. I saw one of the clips. I mean,
From
he looks
then,
like a
I'm
legend if it
like,
works.
yo, what's going on? Because one day, the day that I post that, the next day, Sesko is happening. I swear to you, Andre Berta is going online and he's muddying the waters for everybody.
As he should,
Is
man.
he's like Game of Thrones, whispering in people's ears, telling people what to do, and telling journalists what's going on. Because David Onstein don't say nothing, you know. David Onstein only speaks on podcasts based on hypotheticals and questions that he gets asked. He never goes
the actual
out
blogs.
there. He never goes out there and speaks unless something is done. Usually, and for him to go out there and say Andre Berta's announced and he is an admirer of Gyokeres, made me say right away, Gyokeres might be the guy.
But as a club, we should have been admiring Gyokeres before Berta, and I don't even mean it because Berta's a genius or not. I'm not even saying that because we want Gyokeres. It's just if you've been doing your due diligence on a position you've needed to upgrade on for like over 2 years now, and obviously we were linked with Sesko last summer. We had to have been doing just basic due diligence around all strikers, in which we all have seen what Gyokeres has done has been hard to ignore. But I don't want to focus too much on Gyokeres right now because I want to ask about Sesko. Because as you said and as I said, there's a lot of just new rumors with Gyokeres every day, in it. But Sesko, because we hear Leipzig want to get a deal done quickly. As Arsenal fans, we want to ideally get this done before pre-season. Apparently, we've been talking to him for the best part of a year, and you could argue if he maybe received enough encouragement that he'd play above Kai Havertz last season, we would have got him. Why is this Sesko thing taking long then? Because Gyokeres, it seems like a bit of drama and all the others and gentlemen's agreements wasn't getting placed. But if it seems like Leipzig are on getting a deal done, we're on getting a deal done. We've been talking to the player for time. Why is his thing taking so long?
I'm just looking at Sesko and I'm saying to myself, where do you want to play next season? Do you want to develop, or do you want to just go to the best location possible for your future development? Or is he just looking at just trying to leave RB Leipzig?
He's been linked with Saudi as well.
Because I don't know if he's going to Saudi for money. He said no to that already, it seems. I don't think
not silly, but
I don't think it's too crazy to write out Liverpool coming in for him again or somebody else coming in.
They've been linked with both of the forwards, yeah.
Yeah. And the main thing for me with Sesko is, what is RB Leipzig going to demand? Because if they're going to demand the crazy wages that the Osimhens and these other guys are demanding, Arsenal are not even going to look at him anymore. But his wages seem reasonable. The issue seems to be the price tag. And there's no gentleman's agreement. These people are idiots because they keep getting agreements behind closed doors and then they don't get it on paper. And now
cold-hearted writing.
And then now they have themselves in a situation when the people who shook their hands get sacked. Those people have no reason to keep those words of somebody that they sacked.
There's nothing legally blinding, man. Binding, but yeah, massive blinding.
So, and also he plays in a two-striker system that makes him look worse to the market. Because he's
expand on that.
Because he's in a two-striker system, he's going to be creating more, but he's going to be scoring less, and he's going to be in less goal-scoring actions. So the underlying numbers for Sesko look worse than it would for Gyokeres, because Gyokeres is the main guy who's getting games played towards him. He's the main focal point. Where Sesko is, at least he's developing the other side of his game. Don't call me crazy, but Sesko is going to be a more all-around striker than majority of these other strikers right now. He's going to be better than Ekitike. He's going to be better than Delap and all these other guys.
I mean, that's not too far-fetched because Gabriel Jesus, in terms of all the other facets of being a striker, is probably better than a lot of men. But I think many fans, it's about you can do all of that. I think many fans understand in the present day, it's not just about standing and scoring goals, but the goal scoring. Like, are you concerned about goals with him?
In the final third, he can be underwhelming. He has a rocket of a shot. He'll score one of the goals of the season, but at the same time, he'll mess up a bunch of opportunities, which I think a more experienced striker will put away. So I still want a more experienced striker than Sesko, but at this point, I've gotten to the point where I'm not going to debate.
Just get forward.
If it's Sesko or if it's Gyokeres, whoever comes into the door, I'm backing it. I just need them to return the investment that we are giving them, that we are investing in them, that we're believing in them. and we just need them to return the investment because
Do you feel sorry? Do you feel sorry for any striker coming into the club, Miguel? Because obviously we're talking about Sesko and Gyökeres at this moment in time. Obviously, Gyökeres is to a degree, it's high risk, high reward. It seems like a sure thing at the moment. All of the people that are saying he's the only option, if he flops, they're going to say that's why you only buy people from Portuguese league. Sesko, we've been looking at him for time. You could argue we should pivot to Gyökeres in terms of goal scoring, but then you could argue if we've wanted Sesko so much and now we've changed what we're doing here. But Sesko, it seems like we've done our due diligence, all of these things. Both players, the fans are going to want you to get 1 million goals from the jump. We're angry. We're in win now mode. Do you feel sorry for both of them? Because there's not really any time to get your feet under the door before question marks. With every game, we've got our Messiah. With every game you flop, you know what's being said.
Simply put, I think you have more pressure on yourself coming to Arsenal than you do going to Man City or Liverpool. Florian Wirtz is probably the only player that would have more pressure on him than any Arsenal signing that we make this summer. If we get Rodrigo, I think he would even have more pressure than I think if we signed Rodrigo, Sesko, whoever we sign, they're going to have more pressure or just as much pressure as a Florian Wirtz coming into this team because of the fact that we haven't won, because of the fact that if you mess up one game early in the season, like Fulham, boom, the fans are onto you. People are ready to melt down. Arteta out all over again. Bro, we're a toxic club. We're not mentally stable, some of our fans, because one result will send things the other way, and we're very quick, reactionary. And I can include myself in some of the reactionary takes, but I think it's too much doom and gloom, too much we're the best team in the world, depending on which result takes place. We're never level-headed, and that could impact people's impressions of a player. Sesko joins, has a bad 1, 2, 3 bad games, boom, he's shit. That's what everyone's going to say. Gyokeres joins, scores goals in the first 2 games, he's better than Erling Haaland. That's what they're going to say. It's just, you know how it is, man. No, I hope I answered your question because really and truly, I do think Arsenal players have the most pressure next season out of every player in the league.
And the gaffer, everyone's got to deliver. We got to get over the line, man.
And do you think need to be calm?
Yeah, exactly. I wanna not play devil's advocate. Did you see what Rio Ferdinand said about Gyokeres? You must have.
Yeah, I posted it on my Twitter.
What did you make of that?
You don't rate him. You don't think some of the stuff that he does will translate into the Premier League. And I hear it because, let's be honest, the Portuguese league's record is poor. The translation from that league to other leagues has just been poor. Cancelo Ramos couldn't do it in the French league.
Both are big risks, but with big rewards.
Darwin Núñez couldn't do it in thing. Some reason, their midfielders all work out in other leagues. Like Vitinha is one of the best midfielders. Bernardo Silva is one of the best midfielders. How many great Portuguese midfielders has there been across all these different leagues? But why is it that their strikers who do well in those leagues can't do it over here? Are the defenders that poor? Is the defending that poor? The difference is Darwin Núñez, I don't think he's two-footed. Gyökeres is two-footed.
I think Gyökeres is intelligent and he impacts the games without the goals. So you show me you're a good baller. Obviously, you need to be able to score. I know people nitpick and I see everything from 12 to 18 penalties and he doesn't score enough headers and the transitions and the low blocks.
That's
and
the biggest
again,
issue.
Every player's got concerns, but he'll be all right. And he's he'll be all right.
The biggest issue. The biggest issue is his headers are as bad as Cunha.
But as long as you use your feet, Cunha's one was horrible, innit? Martinelli got denied a madness. As long as you use your feet and put the ball in the back of the net, well, we got plenty of other guys that would header, man. Because I could say Sesko looks better in the air, but you ain't got that kind of record. Do you think
Sesko in the air, bro, it's not even fair. He plays basketball, right? His dad used to play basketball.
So is our manager at this moment with who we're assembling.
He can jump 5 feet into the air.
And he can run fast. But I need you to use your feet, though. I like Sesko. I mean, me and you spoke about him before.
That's true.
Yeah, no, but like me and you spoke about it before. I would like Gyokeres for a couple of reasons. I understand that. Huh?
Can you improve your technical ability?
Not at this age, bro. Come on, man. Obviously, you can work on your finishing, strike, cleaner, and that, but the core principles of technical ability, even as young as Nwaneri, like if Nwaneri had a horrible first touch and things, obviously you can fix this. But what you see is what you get. It's too late for all of that. It's just about working with what you've got. You look at someone like Salah, people always want to say he's not the most glamorous. I'm not looking at Salah, but he's never going to be the most glamorous player. If he tried to become that, it's dead. Use what you've got, make it world class, which he's done. Your technical level can't go up. You can look a lot cleaner.
But How is it that he can strike the ball on the volley in the air, 1 foot, like an angle, but he can't get a touch and turn him on?
We might have to accept it's like Haaland. Haaland's never going to be the most glamorous, but he makes it work. And this is what I mean about Sesko. Like, I think he's got a lot, like, there's a lot of raw ingredients. I want Gyokeres, as I was saying, yeah, because I think it's a bit different for our football club. It's not really potential.
He's a better passer also.
Yeah. But yes, Gyokeres would be, he's ready now. It's a bit different. You kind of know he's a striker. There's, he doesn't have to go through as much education as Sesko. But I'd be equally as happy with Sesko. I don't really care about that's the one Arteta wanted and they wanted him for 2 years and that. I know it'd be very difficult with Sesko, but I think he could be a good player for us and thrive in the Prem. But I did want to show you something. Yeah? In fact, before I show you this, which is on brand with what we're talking about, like, what did you make of Rio's comments? Like, you mentioned it, but do you share those concerns he might have said? Because he is a Premier League, or better yet, former Premier League centre half.
It is in the back of my mind, and it's one of those things that allows me to say, you know what, whoever we get, I'm okay with it. Because if he's scoring the 97 goals and he comes to our club and he's the Darwin Núñez 2.0, that puts us backwards. But I do think his raw attributes, we would be able to get better out of him than a Man United, for example. I think his raw attributes and his flaws would be more exposed at a Man United than they would be at an Arsenal. Because let's be honest, if he just finishes his dinner at a decent rate, he's getting 20 goals in the league at Arsenal. Where he goes to Man United, I don't know about that. He goes to Liverpool. I think it's more about fit than actual. I think
what I've seen is that in that regard, Sesko makes more sense, but I want Gyokeres. That's why I think if the money makes sense, we get Sesko.
Sesko makes more sense for teams that are building. I think teams that need to get to the final product.
You need Gyokeres.
A better option.
That Sesko could be the striker in a couple of years. I've got no doubt about his ability. But if he becomes a quality striker and we cry about missing out, but Gyokeres has been here for 5 years or so and done the business, then we're laughing. I wanted to show you this year. Obviously, we're not going to go over the data.
All the practicals are going to cry, though.
They are going to cry, yeah. But I saw this by Sam Dean. The first initial tweet was an analysis. How do goal scoring figures in other European leagues, in brackets, Portugal, France, Germany, Italy, Spain, translate to the Premier League? This is a measure of expected drop-off for forwards who could move to England this summer. Now, again, before I bring up the other thing, we all know football's played with our eyes. It is what it is. The data is one thing. This doesn't always work, or people wouldn't have missed out on the legend of Tom Brady. If anyone ain't watched their movies, go watch them, innit? But then that was a follow-up tweet. It said, on the topic of comparing different leagues, this is an interesting analysis by Opta Analyst. They rank the Portuguese top flight below the Championship and below the Belgian league and say that 11 of 18 teams in Portugal are at a similar level to League One. Now, Gyokeres has done it in the Championship, to be fair to him, but what do you make of that kind of piggy banking of what we're on about?
I have heard this, actually. I've heard that the bottom half of the Portuguese league is so bad that it's like a whipping boys. Imagine 10 teams getting whipped on a regular basis.
And you're definitely not getting 12 or so penalties in England for us.
Yeah, no, Mo Salah got 9.
For us. Are you even gonna get 12 looks with VAR? I'll donate £100 to any charity of your choice, guy. Yeah, if there's 12 incidences of us next season, yeah, and they're legit penalty shouts, and we get them penalties. Me and you both know that's not happening.
Hey, all I know is they're gonna call us set piece FC, then they're gonna call us penalty FC. Either way, I don't give a shit.
Sesko could be nasty from set pieces. I'll say that much.
Yeah, Gyokeres can score from set pieces too, but I'm very cautious. Free kicks, yeah. Let's talk about this, though. You're right. Portugal are viewed as one of the worst teams for translate for forwards because of Darwin Núñez, I would say, and some of the poor strikers. But if you actually go pull up the list of Portuguese top goal scorers of all time in each season, whoever won the Golden Boot, you'll be surprised. Not many of them even translated. Like, I don't think you can find any that really translated in other top leagues. So it is a concern. And Gyokeres might have just been battering some of these ship teams. But I'm seeing him do it versus Man City in the Champions League, and it did not look so pretty. His goals are ugly in the sense they're not the best looking calm goals. They're not the best for scouts to look at.
I can't like that attracts me to Gyokeres more because that's the bread and butter.
He looks like he's fighting for an extra shot, fighting to get a shot off, doing his best to just get a shot off and not really caring about how it looks or what happens. And maybe because he's played in the championship and bagged
That's attractive to me, boy. I can't lie.
Because he's played in the championship and scored 22 goals in the championship, that gives me more belief in him working than Darwin Núñez. Same way, he's two-footed, he's more skilled, and overall, people are saying, what the hell are you talking about? But I'm just simply trying to analyze the player from my thought process, my perspective. If you guys don't get it, fair play.
Oh man, you're allowed your opinion. I do want to ask this year because Darwin Núñez, ironically, whether Liverpool sign a striker or not, they're linked with Isaac. They're not as aggressive as us, but they're linked with Gyokeres. They're linked with a few. They brought in Darwin Núñez for big money. It didn't work out, and that's kind of my point. He played up front. It didn't work out. It is what it is, and they're buying someone again. I do think as Arsenal,
in the league,
huh?
It worked out. He won them one league.
Yeah, he won them the league, but he didn't, end up being the striker and whatnot. But they're still looking for another one. My thing is, we talk about Gyokeres for maybe being the guy for 5 years because he's 27. People keep talking about Sesko, 22 resale value could be here. Some go as far as a decade. I think that's very naive, right? If neither of these players work out from the first season, where do we go from there? Because I actually think this is a good topic. I do think Arsenal fans will either persist with Gyokeres or persist with Sesko. There might be a time where we might just have to find another striker. But if it doesn't work out, where do we go?
There's no pressure on them, hopefully, to...
there's pressure, bro.
No, I mean, there's no pressure on them to, play right away day one because Havertz is still going to be in the club. They don't have to start game one, first minute into the Premier League season like Lacazette did when he joined Arsenal. They can take a breather and maybe get themselves eased into the team. Hopefully, same thing can happen with Zubimendi, where he can get eased into the team, and you're not throwing them into the deep end. But I do think Arsenal fans will be kind of shocked when they see Kai Havertz playing some Champions League games, Kai Havertz playing some league games, and Gyokeres might be on the bench. There's going to be games where some of these guys are rotated. And
is that right from Mikel Arteta? Because obviously we 100%. Need depth in that, but we hear, especially with Sesko, that he's going to rotate in and out for Kai Havertz. Is that the right way of going about things for you?
You know what? You don't tell them that. You bring them in through the door, and then when it's time to rest them, you get them on side. You let them know, yo, this is what we need. We need you to take a break. We got a big game on the weekend versus somebody in the Champions League. Let Kai Havertz start today. If we need you last 20 minutes, we bring you on to get a goal. I know you've scored 4 out of your last 5. But we need you to be fully healthy for the next game. I've seen you taking a little bit of a hit. Same thing with Bukayo Saka. But you know what's going to happen? We're going to complain all season we have no squad depth. When we finally have squad depth, we're going to complain we're not starting the best 11.
It's true. It's true.
I see it way too many times.
I want to throw another question at you. Yeah? Is there a reality where we get both Gyokeres and Sesko? Is there a reality where we need 2 strikers?
I don't think so, man, because we weren't willing to pay the money to get a backup keeper when we needed one last year for 5 million. I don't think the club is...
The powder dry, as some people say, and you saved 20 million by getting Kepa.
I don't think now all of a sudden the club is going to change their tune and get 2 strikers when they still have Jesus still on the books and Havertz still on the books. If there was a sale of Jesus or Havertz, maybe... But really and truly, with those 2 still in the books, it's unlikely. And also, I would rather they focus on getting a winger after they get a striker. And I don't think Sesko is going to be playing on the wing predominantly. That doesn't.
I don't want that, bro. Whoever the striker is, play them up front. Obviously, if you have to do a job in isolated incidents, is great. I think this is a good question. North London forever. Steve AFC TV. One love and big up you lot in the chat, people. Any other questions? Keep them coming, gentlemen. My biggest worry: if we keep messing around, playing one striker off against the other, could we lose both? Typical Arsenal thing. What do you make of that? Because you do hear rumors that Gyokeres knows of Arsenal's interest in Sesko and vice versa, where Sesko's concerned. And they've probably got options, but where would you be if we lost both of them? Like Gyokeres goes, I don't know, wherever. Sesko goes wherever. Where do we go from there? Because we still need a forward. You mentioned Ollie Watkins earlier.
I think both these players see Arsenal as their number 1 choice, but we are still deciding who our number 1 choice is. I don't think any journalist or anybody knows what's going on, and I do think if there's ever a story where Arsenal are going to miss out on both Sesko and Gyökeres, I will think it's rage bait, because there's no chance that we've done all this work ahead of everybody, like Man United, ahead of Liverpool, ahead of Chelsea. And it's like the rumors that I've heard is Arsenal are closer to getting the Gyökeres deal done.
Why?
Because of reports out of Chelsea journalists saying that Arsenal are further along in the Gyökeres deal than people actually think. Alex Goldberg reported that a couple of weeks back.
Is he 30 though? I don't know him. I'm not even
He is 30. He's the same guy. He's the guy who reported Arsenal's in for Kai Havertz in the first place.
Yeah, but that's Chelsea links though. Like he was going from Chelsea to Arsenal.
But Chelsea are also looking at Gyokeres. That's why he knows about the Gyokeres.
Oh, fair play. And that's like, oh, Gyokeres, Chelsea.
Gyokeres basically has to lower his valuation for his wage.
Him and Delap, 2 forwards. I actually would love 2 forwards in a winger, but
yeah, Chelsea kind of are out of a lot of the striker conversations because of the fact that they got Delap. They want an affordable backup striker, so they might go for that guy. What's his name? Voltman, the 6'6" guy in Germany.
Oh, he scored for Germany. I think he scored a hat-trick the other day. Voltmade or whatever his name. I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
He was linked with us on a shameless one.
Bro, he's like Andy Cole.
I don't know.
Not Andy Cole. I mean, you know what I mean. The guy who joined Liverpool. What's his name?
Which one?
Andy Carroll.
Andy Carroll.
Yeah, he's like 6'6".
I big him up. Yeah, big him up. He's still playing football to this day.
Seriously?
Yeah, I think he's at Bordeaux.
I see Santi Cazorla still playing football. That was crazy.
Still clutch. Still clutch.
You know what LB said to me? LB said to me he thinks Cherky's a better baller than Santi Cazorla.
What, prime Santi?
He's like, technically, he's more gifted.
Nah, G. Nah.
I'm like, I haven't seen enough of Cherky to say.
Cherky's a big baller, you know. I think he's going to be a really good signing. But Santi, I'm pretty sure Cherky would tell you himself. Both 2-footed, though. I'd love to see them play 2-touch. But not Santi. Man. We need to see what Xavi and Iniesta said about Santi. I'm not disagreeing with them. Magic, bro. Santi. Cherky's a mean signing. He should be at Arsenal, man. But some people will tell you they don't fit systems and shit. It's crazy.
People say Arteta don't like him. You know, the craziest thing I heard was someone said Pep had enough of Jack Grealish, so he signed a bunch of Muslims.
The internet is so silly.
Oh my God, that's the funniest thing I heard.
I can't lie, it's looking very dark for Jack Grealish because clearly maybe it's Pep, but I think there's been a message from above that we need you to go because you were left out the last couple of games of the season, if not the last one. Obviously, you're not flying to the Club World Cup. It's peak. He's getting Spurs, in my opinion.
He's living off that goal against West Ham in the treble season.
It's great for him though, because the move was a success. You went over there and won the treble and learned from Pep, but he damaged goods, and it's a World Cup year. If I'm him, I'm trying to go back to Villa. To be fair,
do you think players see that and they're like, "Yo, maybe going to City is not the best place for me"?
Yes and no. No, because naturally as a player you're going to take heed of things like that, but no, because unfortunately this happens in football at many a club, and also. What Jack Grealish was doing don't mean it's going to be you. We don't know what happened there, if I'm honest with you. Like, clearly Pep's not happy. And to be honest, Pep's probably been pissed off with Jack Grealish for a minute because when the season was kind of on its last legs, he kept, all season, he kept saying things like, I think Grealish needs to play. I think Salvio's been better. He used to keep saying Doku's been better as well on occasion. So it's just not worked out. He needs to go back to Villa, man.
Forget Villa. Go to Everton. Be a talisman again.
Nah, Villa, your old club. Emery there, Europe's there.
Villa have no money, bro.
True. Loan settings. Because I can't imagine. Well, I don't know. Well, I'm sure if you're City, you want to sell Grealish, but what is the fee? Because he's on big wages. Not that he's going to get that elsewhere. He probably looks at right now as damaged goods.
He needs to get his love back for football. Go to a team where you're going to be the talisman. Go to Everton for like a loan for a year, and then raise your value back up, and then someone will buy you next year.
Well, you need to play. He needs to go somewhere and play football because you're not going to the World Cup.
Play football.
Well, yeah. I don't disagree. Everton Igal takes. Well, I don't know what that means, but yeah.
No, I'm saying go to a team that's not going to be playing in Europe. Focus only on the Premier League. Get yourself back ready to go, and then boom. Because I think if
loan to Villa, man, take on some of his wages, but 40 million and his weight. Oh gosh. I like Grealish. I'd actually have him at Arsenal, but when you break it down, it wouldn't make sense.
He might struggle to get back into the Villa team, where Everton, Brentford, those guys, he's gonna
Brentford
walk
could be a
in and
move.
he'll kill it. They need goals, that team.
They do. I want to quickly talk about Kepa. Like, what do you think of the Kepa signing? Honestly, don't give us the PR.
Honestly, I never want any more Chelsea players, but let's be honest, Chelsea are hoarding keepers. This guy wasn't bad last year. I think he's their second best keeper, and they let him go to us for 5 million. So fair play. I'll take it. 5 million is a good deal. It allows us to focus more on other positions. And as long as he doesn't come in and have clangers for us and cost us games, or Raya doesn't get injured and we don't have to depend on him for like 6 months out of the year, we should be fine.
Fair. I mean, I'm just keeping people up to date. Yeah, Man United keep calling for Gyokeres, but don't forget Arsenal, because Arsenal remain active for Gyokeres. New contacts are taking place. He remains a strong option for Arsenal and a case to watch for next week's. We keep hearing that kind of stuff. So yeah, everyone's saying the same things: 60 to 70 million and everything in between it. We're still in talks with Benjamin Sesko, Rodrigo, man, because we obviously not necessarily in relation to this, but you have heard rumors he could leave. Equally, in the last 24 hours, you've heard rumors that he wants to stay. Xabi Alonso's spoken to him, and it's not happening. Like, because I think if you go with Sesko up front, you need that. You need it anyways, but you more need that talismanic figure on the left-hand side who's going to get us the goals. But where you at with the impossible dream of Rodrigo, man? That I told you, don't put your heart on the line, man.
It's not impossible. It's not impossible.
It's over again, man.
It's just you who thinks it's impossible. It's very possible. It's very probable. We just need to wait.
Very probable.
Yeah, we just need to wait until the Club World Cup is over, and then boom, he's ours.
Put a number on it. Out of 10, how probable is it that Arsenal get Rodrigo?
I think it's 60.
I hope I'm wrong, by the way, Gal. I want you to be right.
I think it's 60-40 he leaves. The Club World Cup is going to give us a big example of what's going to happen next season. And I think the moment he realizes, yo, I'm like 4th or 5th in the pecking order, I'm not even a guaranteed starter anymore, he's out.
Fuck, And you think we'd be the front runners? Because there's got to be several teams interested.
I think it's Arsenal, Liverpool are the 2 front runners. I think Man City and Chelsea kind of are working their way out of that. Chelsea, because I don't know if they're going to pay his wages, and Man City because they've already have 8 wingers, bro. How many more wingers are they going to sign?
But why are you so confident that he will leave Real Madrid and sign for us, though? Like, what gives you the confidence? I'm trying to be optimistic. You're not selling it to me.
We're currently the people who've spoken to his entourage and shown. You know what it is? It's like we've already been working on him. We've already been working on trying to get this deal sorted. We've already been showing everybody, putting in all the information that it's going to happen, if it does happen. And I do think, as much as we were working on the Sesko and Gyökeres deals, Andre Berta has spoken to Leal and Rodrigo, and Rodrigo seems to be the number 1 guy. And they're going to wait and see what happens with the Club World Cup before they make any major moves on the wingers. All this stuff about Nico Williams, I'm not surprised, because he wanted ridiculous wages, but I don't think
he never wanted to leave Spain. He just clearly
his move was always Barcelona or stay.
I can't believe. I hope you're right.
The main thing for me is when I see guys like Kiko Suarez, when I see all these people saying Arsenal, Rodrigo, it has to be coming from some sort of conversation that we've had with his team, because it's not just out of the blue. And he's going to cost a lot, though, man. He's going to say everything he has to say, I'm still a Real Madrid player. I want to stay here. He doesn't want the fans to turn against him. He doesn't want to say something like he's going to friggin' leave the club. This is the club that he grew up in. He basically was here ever since he left Brazil. So I don't blame him to be still attached to the club. But the moment he has a conversation and he finds out that he's still going to have to play on the right, he's still going to have to do a lot of the hard work. He's not going to get to play in his preferred.
He ain't scared of hard work, man.
He's not going to get to play in his preferred position on the left. It's going to be another season where Vini and Mbappe are going to be the main guys, and he's just going to be like 3rd fiddle, maybe 4th. He didn't play last year, back in the last season with Ancelotti. Honestly, I just think the way things ended last season and the way things are going to go into the Club World Cup, if it completely changes and he's the main man for the Club World Cup and he's absolutely killing it, there's no chance they're selling him. But if he has a poor Club World Cup and he finds himself on the bench, I think that could change his mind.
I hear that, but
A
like he's
lot
got
can
all the.
happen in the next 10 days.
No, but what you're right. But what did you say earlier? Yeah, in relation to Sesko and Gyökeres, you said you don't tell. You didn't say this. I'm paraphrasing, but you said something along the lines of you don't tell them the truth in relation to their playing time and all of that. You just get them through the door, right? So if we flip that on Real Madrid, and you imagine you're Xabi Alonso, which I know it's romantic, he's gone over there, but he goes there with a big reputation. He follows a big manager in Carlo Ancelotti. There's pressure to deliver. There's pressure to be better than Barcelona. You've got a million problems. You need to implement your tactics, do all of this, cope with all these pressures. And Rodrigo's another one, bro. So would you not sit there and say to Rodrigo, yeah, bro, you're gonna play, trust me, be patient, da, 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 da. And clearly Rodrigo just wants some positive reinforcement. So if he does that, this move ain't going nowhere, bro, surely.
Sorry, my son's in the room.
Nice, come on, man. Is it, bro? We're keeping it offensive. Keep spinning, man. What do you want a kid to do? Not be a kid? Like, keep going, bro.
You can't tell him anything.
Yeah, bro,
He's saying no.
man.
He's saying no. I'll tell you this, Rodrigo.
He ain't agreeing with you. I know. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Because all Xabi Alonso has to do is tell little whisper sweet nothings. Like Rodrigo, I'm not trying to be disingenuous to any women, yeah. But if I look at Rodrigo, yeah, and we just say, like, if you was with a girl, you haven't been the best to her. You say you're gonna change your ways, She would keep saying, I'm gonna leave. But deep down, she wants you to just show that you're open to changing. If you just show you're changing, or you give her that encouragement, that's all she wants to hear, bro. That's what Xabi Alonso's gonna do to Rodrigo. So how's it gonna go far, bro?
I think Rodrigo is gonna get an honest conversation from Xabi, and we're gonna see what happens after the Club World Cup. In my opinion, if he gets all the promises that he gets, and the game doesn't go well, then in my opinion, the only way he stays is if he's a big part of the plans going forward, and they want to make sure they give him a lot of minutes. But with the signing of the new youngster from Argentina, I don't know where he's going to be in the pecking order, bro.
But did we not talk about depth?
I know that Real Madrid want depth, but in the same breath, this is a guy who's how old? 23? How old is Rodrigo?
24.
And he's never really been the main man, and he's never been in a team. I think he's ready to explode. And he can, and I think he could definitely see himself leaving. Right now, we have to wait because Xabi Alonso warned Real Madrid about Rodrigo and Arsenal holding conversations. He might want to keep him.
Wait, right. What did you say? Who warned who?
Apparently, Xabi Alonso has been warned by Real Madrid that Rodrigo might be looking to leave. So he's going to have to say whatever he has to say to keep the player on side. But if he's one of those guys like Arteta and Pep, who are like, if the player wants to leave, you let them leave. We got our guy.
I hope you're right, man. But if we don't get,
maybe I'm delusional. Maybe I'm too confident. But in my eyes,
Rodrigo, we all hope you're right. If you're Arsenal fan, you know? I can't say I share these thoughts.
Rodrigo has a choice: move to London, stay in Spain. If you're looking at the weather and you're looking at the team's success, maybe you want to stay in Real Madrid. But if you're looking at furthering your career as an individual player and getting yourself to a place where you're going to be the most decorated player, you're going to be one of the more leaned upon players, you're going to be playing in your preferred position, you're finally going to be given the keys to do whatever you want on that left-hand side. I think Arsenal makes so much sense for him. And the only other place that I think makes a lot of sense for him is if Liverpool make 2 crazy sales in Luis Diaz and Darwin Núñez, and they throw the money for him too.
There's several teams I could see him joining, man. I think City, if they were on him, could have a good case. I do think we could present something decent.
Bro.
Huh?
City got 8 wingers. It's not happening.
Oh, it's Pep. The Pep factor, the fact that City are winners, they're rebuilding. The rebuilding carrot could be thrown to him. Rodrigo, regardless of who City have, bro, you could play in the mid. You could play in midfield.
They're gonna have to sell. You could play out wide. They're gonna have to sell Doku. They're gonna have to sell Doku. They're gonna have to basically tell, what do you call it?
Doku cannot. If you're Pep, Doku can't chat shit to you. If you get Rodrigo, who's Doku?
They're gonna have to tell Foden.
Foden is cool with being a sideman. And again, we're speaking about depth. PSG could get involved. There's bare people that could get involved. No, they could definitely get involved.
I'm actually disgusted. Now you're just trying to piss me off.
Bro, you genuinely think, yeah? If people tell me I'm wrong for this, boom, Rodrigo. Let's say in the gal's reality, yeah. Before we talk about signing for Arsenal, boom, it's been made clear with Real Madrid, Rodrigo, you need to cut. Am I wrong for saying whether you think Arsenal could get this one or that one? Am I wrong for simply saying this, people? If it becomes abundantly clear, Rodrigo is for sale, he is going. PSG will be in the mix. Arsenal will be in the mix. Liverpool will be in the mix.
Where would he play?
City would be in the mix. Bro, good players can play everywhere. You make things happen when you have good players.
Dembele is there. Barcola's there. Destiny Adu is there.
Brother, who the fuck is Barcola to Rodrigo? Sorry for swearing, I know your kids
But
about.
you're saying the fourth option.
Are you mad? Are you genuinely mad?
Rodrigo's gonna get signed to be fourth option.
You're playing on. You won't be fourth option. You're going to play under Luis Enrique for one. You got rotating wingers. They've won the Champions League. You would be one of the main kind of man. Neymar probably will sweeten it up and gas you a bit. Are you mad? Because you're moving like he becomes available for Real Madrid.
Now you show me one credible journalist.
Look them man are there.
All right. I think going. I think Liverpool's the only threat, but they need to sell to buy. Arsenal
so Liverpool is the only threat to Arsenal side of Rodrigo.
I think Arsenal right now is the only team that is seriously going hard on Rodrigo. And if somebody beats us to Rodrigo and takes him from us, we're dickheads.
That's a good point, because let's assume Rodrigo either goes somewhere else or he doesn't join Arsenal, right? Nico Williams moving like he's going to Barcelona. I'm not sure how much we want Leao, but we've heard that it's anything from 90 million to 100 million euros. If we don't get any of those three, where does that leave us? Because as much as we're talking about striker, we need somebody on that left-hand side.
If we don't get any of our main targets on the wing, that just tells me that one, we don't want Leao. Two, Rodrigo stays. And if he goes somewhere else, I've already said we're dickheads. Nico Williams going to Barcelona. Personally, I think he just you're right. He never wanted to leave Spain. He always was using all of us for better wages. And outside of Rodrigo and Nico Williams,
I'm having Lookman.
What?
No, I'm replying to that comment as you was talking. I'm having Lookman.
Outside of those guys, I have questions over Lookman translating outside of Gasperini's system. Because once again, similar to the Portuguese thing, Gasperini players, when they leave his system, they don't look as good. And this is a man who's already flopped in the Premier League for several clubs.
Fair.
So I'm worried about Lookman. I think the best option right now is
you get Rodrigo. A lot of what we got though.
You get Rodrigo, and if you can't get Rodrigo, get me a left winger /10. I like the Morgan Rogers type shot. I like the Xavi Simons.
That's peas though. I don't buy the Morgan Rogers.
I know, but I'm just saying the prototype of that kind of player would be better for us than just the out and out winger, because Leao or Eze, I'd rather have Eze.
Bring Eze. That's another one that can get thrown into the mix.
Leao or Xavi Simons. I'd rather have Xavi Simons. These are I want Rodrigo, or get me another player who can play two positions adequately at a high level.
We've been linked with Kudus. Would you have him?
Kudus is overrated.
Damn.
Kudus is overrated. I don't think Kudus is. I think he's a purple patch player. He's not really like consistent like that throughout the season, or else he would have had West Ham higher up the table.
We've been linked with another defender as well.
I like this. I like this. Scouts, do your job. We don't need to spend 25, 40 million on every player. Do your job. This is where Leo gonna know we got bread though.
He's still linked with Hato as well.
He's gonna cost crazy money.
Get them in. I want this lad. Hato is cool.
He's gonna cost crazy
money. Sim is not trash, but I think he's a bit overrated, and I don't know how he ties into life.
Trash. I question your ball knowledge.
He's not trash.
From the age
but
of
you can't call Kudus a purple patch player and then not say the same about Xavi Simons. Xavi Simons better than him, 100%. But he struggles for higher levels of consistency.
Kudus is a Honda Civic that's getting Mercedes prices.
Come on.
He's a Honda Civic that's getting charged Mercedes prices. I'm sorry. You're not the player that people are trying to charge you for. If he was 45 million, fairs. But 80 to 90, West Ham's taking the piss.
But wouldn't you do the same if you was them? Like, everyone's got money, everyone's bumping each other off in the market. You might as well. So you are right. I think with us trying to get Victor Rice in January, with us trying to get Howson apparently linked with Hato, linked with the Alessandro brother, it's clear to see once again that we need some defenders, people, which will be quite interesting. What do you think of Antonio Nusa? Because we've touched on Xavi Simons, we've spoken about Sesko. What about this guy?
I don't know enough about him to give you a fair and honest.
We wanted him when he was at Club Bruges.
I don't know enough about him to be honest. Haven't what do you call it? Been paying attention to him specifically.
He's from Norway as well. I mean, he's 20 odd years of age. I think he's a purple patch player. I'm not really on paying 45 million. I can see why he's linked with everyone. I'm not really on it though, and I don't know how much to buy it into this because, as you know yourself, it's easy to link Arsenal or any team with just anyone for any reason. There's no way of fact checking or verifying these things. That's just about how. Oh, finally, wait, is it finally? No, we've gone over that. This is the final thing I wanted to ask you before I let you get out of here. Yeah. AC Milan are interested in Zinchenko, and simultaneously there's reports about they want Kivior as well. Where are you at with one, if not both, going? Could you use both maybe to get Leao cheaper? I don't know.
By the way, I just want to say quickly, Kudus, I do rate him, but off the ball, guys, defensively, if he's a forward, he doesn't score enough goals. If he's a midfielder, off the ball, his positioning is poor. And if you're using him in the 10, in the transitional areas, he has no real asset that is outstanding besides taking his players on 1v1. Like, he's not really excelling in anything for me.
Ain't that real potential to work with?
I'm just looking at it. I'm saying to myself, what are we saying? What are you guys seeing in Kudus to say he's the guy over some of the other guys, and you're willing to spend top dollar for him? We're spending Rodrygo money on Kudus. You know that, right?
I'm not, because we're not doing that.
No, but I wouldn't be doing that. That's wild. Let Chelsea.
You might as well get a young player with scope to get better.
Even that pisses me off. Just go get Eze.
Yeah, that as well. Eze, bro, if I could get Eze done, I would. I just don't know for you're going to spend anything from 70 upwards for either Gyokeres and Sesko. You throw in the 50 for Zubamendi, the 5 for Kepa, all the other stuff. Is there going to be money for that?
No, but we can't get Bowen because Bowen, we've seen him play on the left. He's not that good. And it's going to
I'm having Bowen. Bowen can play across the front three. He's good on the transition. I'm having Bowen, but they're not selling him. He's their talisman. Or they're not selling him at prices we think make sense.
Eze's 28. Who cares, bro? You could still get
Eze being 28. Don't mind me.
You could. Ian Wright joined Arsenal at 28. Still became a club legend.
It just depends on the price with Eze. Rightly so, if you're Palace, you want to charge someone through the roof.
Joined Arsenal at 28. You guys know how many good years we got out of him.
Literally, when he's on his last legs. It's like this comment. I'll take Kudus/Eze, but not more than 55. I'll push the boat out a bit more for Eze if push comes to shove, but then we're being hypocrites, because you might have to just put the money down if you want these guys.
West Ham want 20 million more than Palace want for Kudus. Are they nuts?
It comes down to Berta being able to hustle, man.
Hey,
but yeah, we're saying for Kivior, isn't he?
This comment, Berta's a G. He went to AC Milan and said, "Yo, come to the table with a proper offer or leave."
But we don't. Should we rate him for that? Or is it just basic competencies? Because on one hand, we've missed that.
Because Edu before, he would have been like, "Hey, what are you willing to give me, man?"
All right, to be fair to Edu, though, if you watch Gabriel Magalhaes' interview, we might have never known what of Magalhaes was if it wasn't for Edu's late call, to be fair. So we don't always know what's going on in the back burners.
Hey, he took him off Man United. I think he saved Gabriel Magalhaes' career.
Not Everton and Napoli. He said it in the interviews, like, Napoli were on to me, Gattuso was calling me, Carlo was calling me. I've done some medical or something. Edu called me late at night. I can't lie. Even though I think Edu was a dud, I don't think he can be blamed for everything. Other people must have fucked up.
Fair.
But there is an upgrade. We need someone that's serious. We need someone that you haven't said it specifically, but you've been touching on it. We've got the ability to pivot. Now, pivoting doesn't mean anything if we don't get people through the door, but we always got caught in this silly little trap, I feel, as Arsenal fans or as a football club. Like, we might want Nico Williams. We're not looking at nothing else. He signs for us, great. He doesn't sign for us. At least we tried. We're keeping the powder dry, which is cool on one hand. But you see, when you need a goal in must-win games like the semi-finals, Arteta can't go in the 85th minute. Hey, warm up, please. You're coming on.
You see,
we know what we need to do.
Zinchenko is going to do well in Italy. He will do really well in Italy. I think AC Milan should pay us at least like 15 million minimum. But is that
it's more the wages with this guy, innit?
Do AC Milan have money? Because bro, they look so broke right now. The way that they're selling all their best players, they look like a mess.
If you're an Italian club, you're coming to Arsenal. Maybe more so for Kivior than Zini, because Arsenal say he's got a year left on his deal. Ramadan,
allow me. What is he talking about? Gassing him up for putting the lights on.
You're asking, like, if you're the Italian clubs and you want Kivio, for example, you're coming to Arsenal and saying, can we get a loan with an option, maybe an obligation? You're not trying to front up 30, 40 million quid.
Bro, honestly, if you don't offer me 50 million plus, I'm not even looking at you about
For Kivio.
For Kivio.
Listen, I hear it because that's peas.
If you're not offering me minimum 50 million plus, I'm not even considering.
50 is not mad in today's day and age, but the clubs he's linked with, they ain't bidding 50 million quid, bro.
So yeah, so we're keeping Kivior. We're getting another defender on top of that can play long balls in the guy from Lille. And call me crazy, if Partey leaves, we're kind of fucked.
We're in trouble. We need to get another midfielder. There's no we can tie over until January or the summer. You need to get two midfielders.
One guy who plays for Sevilla or
Valencia. Bring him. He can help in the squad. But this is where it goes back to the year we brought Declan Rice in. For me, I wanted Lavia as well because that just felt like the younger party. Now we can talk about how it's worked out for Lavia. He's a decent player, but we need to start being proactive now, man.
Lavia could potentially help Chelsea win a league one day.
Lavia's cold. It's just injuries messed him up. Lavia's cold. Doesn't get enough hype for all them Chelsea midfielders.
He's still a baller.
Steelers a baller.
I think he's the best out of all of them when he plays. Maybe Caicedo looks the best, but when they play together, all three of them, Lavia always stands out to me.
I think Lavia's the more all-rounded. He can do a bit of everything. I'd say I think Caicedo's the best naturally. Like I love them tough tacklers, midfielders. And one does wonder if we did get Caicedo in January and then Rice in the summer, what would have been? We probably would have seen Caicedo play right back at a point like Partey. Saw him do it for Chelsea, but
you know something?
It is what it is.
I don't want no what-if scenarios, man. I just want us to win.
That's all we've got at this moment in time. Like, is what if last season, unprecedented injuries?
Look at that comment from Jay. This mentality needs to die. 50 million plus.
Then indirectly, you could argue that's going to become the case for Arsenal anyways. Whether we rate Martinelli or not, he's probably going to be on the bench. He's about 40, 50 million. Kai Havertz, you can not rate him, but what is his valuation according to whatever? Naturally, my point being, you are going to have that kind of bench. 50 is not really that deep. You are going to indirectly have that. If Kai Havertz plays up front, Sesko on the bench.
You know something? We're looking at potentially spending around 80 million pounds on some guy who technically is Real Madrid's bench warmer. One of our best players in the Emirates era, Alexis Sanchez, was a Barcelona bench warmer.
But as long as we sign players for Arsenal and they get us over the line next year, I don't care. All I know is
Henry, our club legend, was a Juventus bench warmer.
I don't know, mate. I don't know. Going to be difficult getting some money from Italy unless Milan makes some sales. But naturally, even if you've got money, like even if the Italian clubs got money, they take the English teams for twats, bro. They know English teams got more money than sense. We always see it. How many times, and I've got no examples, but a Premier League team might want a player from Spain and they're saying a madness to sign him. That same player might go from Spanish club to Spanish club and it's peanuts. They're trying to, like, I don't blame them because I'd be doing the same. Premier League revenues up there, them man over there, you're going to act broke. You could have 100 million to spend. You're going to tell Arsenal, I've only got 20 odd million quid. Can we get a loan with an obligation to buy? Pattern that up and you can do whatever the hell you want to do. It's crazy, man.
Let me ask you guys right now. Kivior for 45 million, is that wild?
No. But I don't think you get it.
But would you find somebody on the market for 45 million that could replace Kivior's safety net?
But if you give me Hato and these kind of guys we're linked with, that's cool. I'm not selling Kivior. The only reason I would sell Kivior is if he sits there and says, you know what, I've enjoyed my time. I know I'm not going to play that much. Magalhaes is ahead of schedule. I want to go. I don't want to keep unhappy players. But I want to build onto the depth because I think we've got into that scenario where if you look in our defensive depth, we have got numbers, but it's a bit cloudy. You know, Tierney's gone. That's one. Calafiori, I love him, but you missed 100 odd days last year. Tomiyasu only played 6 minutes of Premier League football. Yes, we've got Miles Lewis-Skelly. God forbid he gets injuries. Zinchenko's days are numbered. We've got to be very careful around Timber and White. We could do with a bit of replenishment. And if I forgot anybody beyond the obvious starters, then that tells you everything. We need to buffer the squad. I don't expect it all to get done in the summer, but the vast majority needs to. And where at least I feel the free signings that upgrades our starting 11, it has to be done. You need that left wing. You need that striker. You need that centre mid. You don't do any of that, Mikel Arteta, I'll allow Berta for a bit, but Berta, Arsenal Football Club, you're not serious. I hope it all works out. I hope there's no injuries. We score goals. There's no referee issues. We win every game. But I just want to know, do you think you've learned your lessons if that's the case from last summer? If you have, fair enough. Let's see how the season plays out.
What's your expectations? Or are you just waiting until the window's closed?
Bro, I don't have expectations anymore. They lead to disappointment. Show me. I told you this on the last stream. I'm at the point with Arsenal. Show me. Arteta, and you must know something because there's egg on your face if it flops. You're talking about goosebumps and this and that. We know what we needed to do last summer. Just show me. If you want a striker, bring him in. You want a winger, bring him in. The club have cried too much about a lack of depth. Show me different. Just show me. Don't talk. I don't want to see talking no more. My expectation would, if I had to put an expectation on anything, if you put a gun to my head and said, what do I think Arsenal would do away from obviously Kepa and Zubimendi, if that's to happen, I only truly believe a striker. Whether the striker is good enough is another thing. I only truly believe we'll sign a striker. I think we'll sign a left winger. I've seen realities where we haven't. I don't think we're going to sign another 10, even though I think we need that. In fact, to be fair, I'll do you one better. Striker and some defensive body. I think those two players are nailed on, whether that's a centre-back that can play full-back or versatile defender, a centre-half on whatever side, a left-back or right-back. I think a defensive body and a striker. Apart from that, I think we need a lot more, but show me a guy, man. Like, well, not you directly, but you get the point. Just want to see now. Chatting's done now. I'm not on it no more. There's no hiding place for no one. Like, everybody will get praise if we do what needs to be done and obviously got something to celebrate. Everybody has to hold court. I don't want to hear anything because the only consistency in these 3 seasons that have just gone, which have been very different, we finished second. And I'm not saying that in a disrespectful way. What are we going to do about that? When City were apparently meant to fall off and they're a juggernaut, we're meant to be there to pounce. Whatever way we shape it, and yeah, there's nuances, we weren't. So where does that happen? Arteta, I think you're a good coach. Are you a winning coach?
Deluded. I find it difficult to be humble, but I need to.
Go on.
I find it difficult to be humble with these rivals who just constantly talk shit. But right now, it's just like we don't have a leg to stand on sometimes, man. It's annoying.
There's nothing. You can bring up all the great statistics and the development and how good Arteta is and the development of the players and the valuation and the atmosphere.
Right there, though. We're right there. We're right there.
Yeah, we are. I'm not saying we're not wrong. I'm not, because these things are statistics that shows we've got a good team. But also the same thing is we're not getting over the line. You can have all of that. The bottom line is if you're that good, why aren't you won a trophy? Genuinely. And I think there's 100% logic in that.
You know what
winners win and losers explain.
We're at a tipping point. Either we fall which way, forward, or we fall backwards. Whichever way we go. And I was saying this last summer. There's going to be major changes next year if things don't go well. And this year is the year before the year, hopefully, where we go and retool and get the pieces needed. But yeah, what do you mean the year before the year? I feel like I lost you there. This is
what do you mean the year before the year? Like, so you mean not this season coming? This the following one from that.
This is the summer where we need to get all the extra pieces that we need to have that finished team. And if we don't win it this year, everything's gonna go to shit. There's gonna have to be an actual rebuild, where you get rid of the manager. Not a rebuild, like you just need to get rid of the manager at that point.
Because he's the second. I'm not even trying to run agendas. Reality is you get paid 15 million a year. I do think you're a good manager. You have shown improvement. You have shown rebuild. But can you get us over the line? Can you get us to the land where you said when you took over we deserve to be? We're flirting with it. We're not there. Every year you don't do that. It's going to get bigger and bigger. And at some point, you're going to have to try something different, bro. Like, it's not Arteta FC. It's the football club. At some point,
people need to realize it's not only Arteta, though. The owners have
It's not, but fundamentally, bro, this is football. At some level, the manager is the most disposable. Do you think you think Carlo Ancelotti is the only problem with Real Madrid? They know they fucked up. But end of the day, rightly or wrongly, bro, this is the business of football. I'm not saying we won't get over the line with Arteta. We all hope we do. But at some point, something's got to change, bro. I hope we win and it's happy as Larry, but at some point the gaffer's got to go. You've been here the second longest manager now, only after Pep. And I know and that even adds the point. In a day and age where football fans, the nature of football, they're very ruthless to managers. Bro, you've been caught some luxuries, cuz.
You know why I'm not giving up on the manager yet? It's because
I didn't say give up. I said at some point, man, I thought look at what's going on.
Yeah. You know, I just hate the stats that we've been like the second most points over the last couple of years, most goals scored, least goals conceded. But yet Liverpool have a league title and they're below us, and Manchester City.
So there's something that the man them are lacking as a club. That's with Arteta, that's with the players, that's how we built the squad, that's those above him. I don't even want to get into the cronkies. That tells me something's missing. That tells me you're a good team. I don't need to make out Arteta's mad shit and Arsenal mad shit because it's not true. It isn't. Because we've shown where this is not that I'm happy. We're the second best team in the last 3 years. My thing is cool. You're shown we're good. I want to get over the line because now it's about creating memories. Now it's about for the years of pain that some fans that probably love Arteta more than Arsenal and some fans that probably don't like Arteta and what he's doing. We need those moments in May. These players above all deserve it. We deserve it. Well, we don't because we ain't done everything, but you get the point.
No, we deserve it as fans. We've been through the time. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This is why I read books, man. Try to distract myself from the stress.
Hey, that killed me, man. But yeah, on that note, people, we're out of it. Again, what you got to come out today or whenever when you next live?
I got some uploads. I got some uploads coming out. I just did my predictions for the Club World Cup with the boys yesterday, and I just re-uploaded that. I got a Liverpool fan came on the show yesterday and said they're gonna win Florian Wirtz's gonna win the Ballon d'Or. They're gonna win the Champions League. They're gonna win the league. He doesn't care if they pay all the add-ons and they pay 150 million euros or if they pay 116. It doesn't matter as long as they win. And then you got a Man City fan saying over at City we pay for 3 players for 130 million, where you guys pay for 1, and you're saying we're breaking friggin' the football. Who's really messing up football? And then Tottenham actually is getting sued. So we got a video on that too. Crazy.
There's a lot to speak about on that.
Tottenham suing Manchester United. Romero's taking shots at the new manager. It's a mad thing.
So yeah, man. What time is that out?
It's out right now. So actually, I did stream yesterday, but I'm gonna repost some of those clips if people want to watch them.
So yeah, make sure you're following the Gal. Gal's got his own mini team of other talent there. Go and check that out. As usual, big up a Gal for offering his thoughts. And big up you lot in the chat, man. But with that, I'm sure you lot don't want to ruin what's a nice day in the United Kingdom with speaking about Arsenal. So, Gal, one love, my guy. Everybody in the chat, peace. Done, though.